Welcome back, everyone. I'm going over more of my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy figures that I have on my display, and this time we are talking about Drax, everybody's favorite lovable alien. Well, actually, in the comics, he was a human. I think his name was Arthur Douglas, and he was somehow turned into a big green monstrous type character, but he was very loving and friendly, and he got killed, and he came back as this killer Drax that we all know and love from the comics. And this is kind of where they got the idea for the movie Drax with the knives and everything. So this is kind of the killer Drax that people are used to these days. I think they forgot about the original Drax, but this is the one I have in my display because this is what he looked like when he was on the Guardians in my favorite versions of the team. Now, this figure is not really anything to write home about. You can see he's very scrawny. The head looks too big on this type of body. I think they reused the head from Radioactive Man, or maybe yeah, either one of them came first. But I don't know. I don't mind him because I kind of just have him in the background. He's not one of my favorite Guardians, so I don't always have him in the front. The figure's articulation is all right for the time. You can see he's got the ab crunch and the ball jointed hips, and he's lacking wrist articulation here. That's what Hasbro was doing for a while. They did this on some other ones, like the old the Commander Captain Rogers figure and some other characters. So that kind of sucks. And they got this knife molded on that doesn't come out, which I think is kind of stupid. It reminds me of like an old Ninja Turtles where they'd have cool details sculpted into it that you couldn't do anything with. But still, it's not that bad. And for a guy just having the background, it's pretty cool. Now, there was a much better comic accurate Drax that came in a box set that I mentioned before that had the movie Guardian characters, but in their comic form. And he was a lot beefier. I think it reused the same head and knives, but everything else was kind of new. And he was in the same kind of look, maybe with some knee pads and some guards on his shins. But other than that, this figure kind of stands in well. I've got that box set. I just never opened it up. And he does fit in well with the team, so it's not too bad. Looks pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back with more Guardians next time.